In October 12 this year, JetBrains made its new generation polyglot IDE JetBrains Fleet publicly available. I'm a big fan of JetBrains IDEs. In fact, I'm using a few of them for the last couple of years, and I immediately downloaded and started using JetBrains Fleet because I'm curious how good it can be to those intelligent and powerful IDEs. But I'm also using VS Code, which I love because it's very lightweight and has minimalistic design, and it is also free. JetBrains Fleet is like a combination of both. It is by default editor, which is free as well, and you can download, and it has like basic syntax highlighting and code editing features, but with a single click it can turn into an intelligent IDE. So in this video, I'm going to download JetBrains Fleet, set it up locally, open a couple of different language projects, and just overview the interface and have that first impression, how good it can be compared to JetBrains products, or how fast and minimalistic can be compared to VS Code. And in fact, many people consider as a killer of VS Code, which I personally don't agree, because VS Code will be here for next many years. It's not going to be killed by JetBrains Fleet or anything else. Okay, I'm going to quickly show you a few links and then we can download and set it up. So this is the post which they released yesterday as soon as they made this announcement. Please read, it's not that large. Disclaimer, don't expect it to work perfectly. It is in preview mode, as they also mentioned that there might be some bugs and certain features, even they are declared to work in a specific way, they might not work in that way. So don't be so critical. If you find those features, just send feedback to them, because that's going to help them to just improve this product step by step. Okay, this is the blog post. Right here they have an Excel spreadsheet which highlights the language support and the features each individual language supports. I guess the best support is for JS, JSX, HTML, CSS. Those basic web development languages have great support. However, for HTML, not so much. I know most of my channel viewers are interested in PHP, so it does support PHP really well. Like, there are only few features that it does not support. Okay, but the most basic features are definitely supported. And Python, it also has great support for Python. I'm going to put this link also in the video description, so check it out. And right here we have this JetBrains Fleet official documentation page. If you want to get started, you can check it out. I'm going to put this also in the description. Now let's go on the home page, and I want to show you a few things, and then we can download and set it up and open projects. So I really like this screen and design and colors. And right here they are highlighting their collaboration mode, which I tested yesterday with my colleague, and it really works and it's really interesting. So like, we were two users connected into the same project, and I was editing one file and he was editing the second file. And like, for me, it's really interesting because I can set up this collaboration mode with my colleague or with someone else, and then show two files with split editor on the same screen, and then one might be editing the front-end side and a second person might be editing the back-end side. That's really interesting and tricky. So let's scroll down below. Right here there are a few things they want to mention, and one of them is that they have this great support for space and remote machine and Docker and cloud. Cloud is basically coming soon, so it's a distributed IDE. So it has this collaboration support. These are the languages it supports. One language, at least one language, which I know for sure that it doesn't have syntax highlighting support, is Svelte. Not sure if it is mentioned right here. I think Svelte is not mentioned here, but it doesn't have a support for that. If you scroll down below, this is the JetBrains Space, which is kind of a remote working environment for JetBrains developers. And right here we have these essential tools. It has built-in terminal, Git, run and debug support, go-to, multi-platform, themes. However, it has very limited themes, and plugins and post forwarding. The plugins basically are coming. It's not yet right there. And the most interesting part, I know for everyone, is licensing and pricing. So it is definitely free. But what features will be free? Right here they mention non-commercial, educational, or open source. If this will be like this is the number one reason why it cannot be killer of VS Code, because for non-commercial usage, if it won't be free, definitely it's not going to be killer for VS Code. I know for sure. Okay, and that's it right now. So I'm going to now click on this download button, and as soon as you click, you go into download toolbox page. So that's disadvantage. You have to download toolbox, which is a wrapper basically of the JetBrains Fleet, and then you have to install that toolbox, and you can install it from here. Okay, I'm going to click on continue right here. We're going to agree this, and I'm going to choose the dark theme and get started. And right here we see this Fleet. Using this toolbox, you can install all their IDEs. I'm going to click on install for Fleet. Here it was installed. I'm going to click to open JetBrains Fleet. Let's agree on this, click continue. And this is it. Okay, I'm going to open now my upcoming project, which is a Laravel project, Laravel View e-commerce project. Okay, so opening project is very fast. As I noticed, also the first time I installed on my working machine, it worked. So right here we have this overview, of course, that's very clear. Let's have a look in the Git, because I'm using Git and I have a couple of branches as well. So let's click right here or click history. Okay, this is my Git history. This is what I like in JetBrains Fleet, because it has very good design, generally like the old and established JetBrains IDEs like PyCharm, IntelliJ have great integration of Git. And this is also not bad. So we have overview right here of the files which have been modified. We can click or expand this, and we see what was actually changed right there. Definitely a great experience working on Git. Now, if we go in the files and open any files, like let's hit Ctrl and P first, and it opens the following go-to section. We have possibility to open actions or tools and text search. For tools, we have very limited number of tools like files and Git history and commit and sync, debug, Docker files, and terminal. Basically, I'm going to open now terminal at the bottom. Okay, so we can click right here to open the bottom side. We can click right here to open the right side and add the tools, whatever we want. I'm going to open Docker on the right side, and at the bottom, I'm going to open terminal. Okay, this looks already not so bad. However, I think I don't have possibility to change the default terminal because that opened PowerShell at the moment, and I want Git bash to be my default terminal. I think there's no possibility for that. Okay, again, this is a preview. Of course, we should say when something is not available there, but we should not be so critical because they are still working and developing this, and they just released because a lot of people was waiting and they didn't want those people to wait that longer anymore. So on the Docker side, we have possibility to start the Docker containers or inspect them or delete. All right, now let's open file, let's open product controller. Here we go. So let's collapse the left bottom side. Okay, syntax highlighting is really good. This is the default theme, by the way, and I really liked the purple theme. So I'm going to set purple theme. So there are basically 4 themes: purple, Fleet dark, dark purple, Fleet light, and gray. So I'm going to set this into purple because I really liked that color. However, the Fleet dark is also really nice. So this is basic syntax highlighting, and that works for almost any languages. As I mentioned, at least one language I don't know is Svelte. Now let's open like a dashboard.view file. So for Vue.js, it also supports syntax highlighting. And now we are in the editor mode. If I just close this, now we are in the editor mode. So we have only basic features like syntax highlighting. I think we don't even have auto-completion. So right here, we take the request, product request, and on this request, if I want to call anything, hit the arrow and Control and space, I don't have any kind of auto-completion, which is meaningful. So I'm gonna hit this enable smart mode right here, or on the bottom, on the top right corner right here, we have this smart mode button, and I'm gonna click enable right here. It's gonna start indexing our projects, and it will take some time until it fully analyzes our project and index that. And then we have auto-completion and code formatting and some of the great features. I personally love in JetBrains products, and it's right in here waiting for IntelliJ. It's probably downloading some tools. As soon as it starts updating indexes, I hear the fan sound of my CPUs because it starts heavily using CPUs. So not sure how performant optimized this is. And in fact, if we check their posts, one of the things they mentioned right here is that they are going to improve the performance. Okay, this is already very performant, and we saw how fast it was opened, and navigating also right here using Control P, searching some files like auth controller is really fast compared to like JetBrains products. But again, they're going to work on performance. They don't have support for SDK and API, and they're going to work on that. And as well as for themes and keymaps, they have right now very limited support for those. All right, I think our indexation of Fleet was finished, and we have now underlines right here. If we mouse over, we see undefined class uploaded file. Not sure why it thinks that this is undefined, because all of them are actually inside vendor. Not sure. So if I just type request and control and space, we see authorized and rules. However, I know I can call validated right here, and it doesn't show me this part. All right, so I think it doesn't worth to continue on the auto completion side, because if we have a class declared right here, that's a product request, and that product request has the validated method right there, and it doesn't see that, it doesn't worth to continue auto completion. Probably auto completion is not stable yet. Again, no, it is not definitely stable yet. Let's see the navigation part. I'm going to control and click on this product request, and yeah, definitely I was navigated. Now let's click on this form request, which comes from vendor, no definitions. Okay, it probably doesn't see files which come from the vendor, or the indexation probably was not finished properly. Surprisingly, when I closed and reopened Fleet later, it again started indexation process, and those errors basically disappear. Now we don't have this problem about uploaded file, and the autocompletion also works. And it basically autocompletion didn't work because it didn't see that vendor files. But right now, if we just type request, then right here we see validate or validated. So I think we have autocompletion. Okay, let's see the dashboard right here. We are using a couple of components, view component, custom input component. I'm going to control and click on that, and it opened custom input, which is nice. Okay, let's try some autocompletion right here. So for example, we have this IDE, which is a computed property, or we have props right here, which has a couple of props inside for Vue.js. So I'm going to try to type props dot, and let's see what do we have here. Okay, now we have some autocompletion, append, label, model value, prepend. Okay, let's choose model value. Okay, so autocompletion on Vue side works slightly better than on PHP side. So a couple of great features. It definitely has multi-language support, and in fact right here we have all the languages it has support for. It has a collaboration mode, which is right here. So you just click this user plus icon right here, you start session or join session. That's really handy. It has integrated terminal right here. It has keyboard shortcuts, definitely. If we click right here and go in the file settings, and right here we have edit keymap and select keymap, or on the right side we have this settings icon, and I'm going to open keymap, and we have default and IntelliJ keymaps, or we can adjust our keymaps accordingly, edit keymaps. And I actually already adjusted few of them for me, like I want to delete line to be Control and E. So I'm going to set this into replace with Control and E, and let's hit save. And now whenever I'm deleting line, that actually works. So if we go in the file and settings right here, we can edit and select keymap or edit keymap. We can go in the settings. As far as the settings, they have very, very limited number of settings. Okay, in fact, that's it. Scroll up, that's it. Okay, compared to VS Code, you can't even compare to VS Code. VS Code has tons of settings right here. Yeah, Control and plus and Control and minus works exactly, it's working in VS Code. You zoom in and zoom out. However, I noticed few bugs. Again, I'm not so critical, but I should mention with you. So if we have like the right side open, which is for, let's say, Docker, and the bottom side, which is for terminal, and then I am zooming in this, and then let's just say I zoomed it on that level and then zoom out, the right side basically doesn't stay on its fixed width and it comes to close, as well as the bottom side. So whenever you do zoom in to show something in the tutorial or zoom out, then you have to manually adjust those things, which is kind of annoying, but of course they are going to fix that as soon as we send the feedback. I'm going to send the feedback definitely. So we should all contribute to making this IDE as perfect as possible, and hopefully ask them to leave it free for commercial usages as well. Of course, they can have some kind of additional features, as they mentioned on the their homepage, which will be premium, but at least it should be, the basic features still should be free for commercial usages. Okay, if we talk about the settings, there are not that much. I noticed few bugs also in the settings. I set the tab size to be 2, but whenever I was hitting the tab, it was basically indenting with 4 spaces. It looks like it's working right here inside Windows and the view file. But the problem I had right there was a YML file. Right here we have 4 tab spaces. I think it has configured what should be the tab size for each language, and then it follows this. So if I now open this YML file and hit the tab, now it works. At least on my Linux, I had a problem that I changed this into on 4 and it didn't actually work as I expected. All right, we talked a couple of advantages of a Fleet, but now let's mention a couple of disadvantages. Number one disadvantage is for me that it is not open source. Even though it's going to be free, at least part of it will be free, because it's not open source, community cannot take the engine and create something maybe even cooler. Okay, they are gonna support also plugins, but at the moment they don't have plugin support. And because it's not open source, I doubt that it's not going to compete to VS Code, because people love open source things. Okay, and even though I'm sure after months or years, this Fleet will definitely be great competitor of VS Code. My personal opinion is that VS Code will still be much more used and much more popular. Okay, a few other things regarding disadvantages. It doesn't have also setting synchronization like it is supported in VS Code. If we open the settings, and whenever you change something, you have also settings JSON, and you can adjust it from here as well, but it doesn't support synchronization of the settings. As I mentioned, zoom in and zoom out leaves some bugs. The tab size didn't work, and it doesn't also respect editor config file, which I'm not sure if I have in this project. Yeah, I do have it here, and it does not respect, at least on my Linux machine when I was testing that, it didn't respect. So if I set this tab size, for example, for YML to be 4, will it respect it if we open this YML? Yeah, I think now it respects. Yeah, that's something that was probably buggy on my Linux machine, but on Windows it looks like it's working. Okay, if we click this tools icon or just hit the Control and P or Control and T, right here we have all these tools. And if we go in the actions, we have a lot of actions right here. I haven't checked all of them. Of course, what I know for sure, if you want to send some kind of feedback, just click send feedback right here, hit right there, and it's going to open the form. You fill up and provide some feedback. And I encourage you to do so if you find some kind of bugs, which I'm going to also do. Okay, to sum up our video, I really like its design and performance is much better than JetBrains products. Maybe not as good as VS Code has, but still it's in preview and it's going to be improved step by step. I like colors, I like styling, I like design, I like Git history and generally version control system integration. This is really cool and handy. I like also its simplicity. I don't like that it doesn't support themes, don't support plugins. It's buggy, of course. Auto-completion, even auto-completion doesn't work for my Laravel projects. Not sure if it's worth to start building some Laravel projects right there inside there. Probably I will try. And probably update you how good it is when starting a new project or etc. It doesn't have setting synchronization, which is kind of bad, but it does support the collaboration mode, which is kind of innovative and like exciting. So I'm looking forward how this will proceed after a few months or maybe after 1 year, because I'm sure JetBrains capabilities and they can improve this product on an amazing level. All right, it's definitely worth to check on your own. Just download it, set it up, check it out locally, and if you find something, just send feedback to them. All right, that's it for this video. Hit the like button if you like the video, hit the subscribe button if you want to see more videos on this channel, and I will see you in the next time.